full ship. Hello everybody, my name is Lycan, and in today's video, if you haven't told by the intro, is the amount of money you can make using the resource Activated. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to build a basic but usable Activated Indium Farm. Now the first thing that you will need, besides warping, is, where is it? It is the Indium drive. Now you'll have to work your way up from, I have the basic resources here. You need to work your way up from copper, which you have access to already, to the cadmium drive, and then you'll need an emerald drive, and then you can finally get the indium drive. You can get these for salvage data from the Nexus, which I'll show you in a couple of seconds. I'm going to go through each bit and what you need, how you build it, and how basic you can build it. I'll also show you one of my main farms which I have, and then I'll show you one of the other farms which has the electromagnetic energy, and the expenses are, first you need to do, to do anything, is find yourself this type of planet, this type of system rather. Doesn't matter of the economy, doesn't matter of the race or the conflict, it's the star that you need. For example, that green one over there will give you access to emerald, that red one, cadmium. The yellow one there, which I've highlighted now, will be copper. So this is the type of star that you'll need. It doesn't matter how far away your galaxy is, doesn't matter which one it is, you will find activated indium. As you can tell by the top left, I am 711,000 light years away, meaning you can get this at the very beginning, or as early as you can, within, yeah, you basically find a star, blue star, within 5 minutes of looking. Next, you'll need to scan. Now, this is not what you need, as it's an indium, so it's not an extreme planet. So you'll just need to move on to the next one. Scan this. Normal indium. Oh, this would be, these two would probably be two exotic planets actually. So if you find a farm on this type of planet, then great. You have two exotics coming forward to explore. Activated indium. So this is a radioactive planet, so which is not a good thing. But so what you'll need before we can even do anything, if I can find the thing that I'm looking for. Oh, it's a mistake. What you'll need is a survey device. Now this allows you to toggle between different visors, which will allow you to scan for minerals, gas, and electromagnetic. This you can get from the Nexus as well, which I'll show you. I'll show you a little bit later on in the video. I'm going to basically everything you need. So as I'm entering Wiper Prime, the one thing you need to be wary of, and it's the one thing I super recommend you have, is hazard protection. More so depending on which planet you're on. I have 2 of these and 2 of these. Specific reason is I have more planets that have cold and hot than toxic or radiation. S-class will be your best bet, as they'll last longer and your hazard protection won't drain like a bastard. Is what I'm saying. Now you've got extreme thermonuclear fog, so it's extreme weather. Now once the game gives me my hood back, as you can see at the bottom left there, extreme. So if I were to do this, critical exposure in 1 minute and 47. That stays there, but that's how long my hazard protection system will protect me for before I start taking damage, which is not a good thing. 1 minute and 47 might sound like a long time, but it really depends on where you are. And let's say your ship is out of launch fuel and you're trying to summon it, and you can't summon it and it's too far away, you can die. It's detrimental, worse on permadeath modes and potentially survival modes, as I don't know how that works. There's a meter over there. So, press and hold the left trigger down, the L2 rather. Normal thing, as if you were scanning something. Press right on the D-pad twice, and it looks like there's a deep mineral mining, so make sure it's like that. Come out, sprint. If you have rocket boots, it'll be a lot quicker. Now this potential is a B, which means it's going to be a pretty decent hotspot. There's a land here. Just wait for it to scale and hope that it's activated. No, it's magnetized ferrite. So you just gotta look for another one, but is there elsewhere? There's no nearby hotspot, so that's not good. So let's pretend this is magnetized ferrite. It is magnetized ferrite. Let's pretend it's activated indium. I'm not building another farm. I don't need another farm technically. So what you need to do, you need to go into portable. Tech, portable, scroll over to find base computer, and you're going to place it a distance away. Next what you want to do is to claim it. This just saves time in terms of finding it, because you're going to have to go through quite a lot of hotspots. You might find it first try, you might find it second try, you might get lucky or unlucky depending. It's all RNG based, buddy. Which is unfortunate this is this. Now once you've gotten that, you'll need to go into tech again, and go all the way right to industry, and then you'll need industrial. Now you'll need these mineral extractors, which cost metal plating and chromatic metal. I can build a few. I'll build a small farm just to have it, so to speak. Once you have these three, you'll need supply pipes, and you'll need to hook them all up to each other, like so. Then once you've done that, you'll need these supply depots. What these do is they'll add a storage system. They'll add a way of storing all your current things. So you'll need to build one of these. Will do for now for purposes. As soon as you don't need to hook them all up. As long as they're all hooked up together, they'll all be hooked up. This doesn't require power. So that was a word for some reason. So what you need to do then is go to electrical wiring and hook all of these up. Now as it's currently night time, which is not a good thing, I will be able to power these on. And also highly recommend, if you go into structures, my bad, large, and just build a random room. Doesn't need to be anything, that'll do. Build a door, doesn't matter what door. And then just build a way to get inside of it. Once you've done that, just walk into it, or in my case, fall into it. Once you're inside, your heart of protection will go up. This is especially useful during storms. So let's say you're building right now. If you push down and last it, you get a build camera. So you're safely inside the building, and you can go out here and build up to your heart's content. The camera's a little bit awkward, so just bear that in mind. So now once you have that, all of this is available in the Nexus, but they're quite expensive. Some of these cost tens of its data, but they're so commonly found on every planet you go to, doesn't matter which one. Actually, it depends on it though. Normal planets like these ones, you'll have a higher chance of finding them, whereas exotic planets, the weird ones with bubbles and all that, might not have it. So once you've built that, you can also build in a teleporter, again, available from the Nexus. Just build that in there and you have an easy access to and from every single one of your bases. If you've watched my content before, or other people who have done it, you'll see how they have it as well, instead of just showing it off. So once you've got that, you want to go back into tech again, all the way up to power industry, then power. Now there's two variances you can use. You can use solar panels, easier to find. Again, available from the Nexus. A lot of this stuff is available from the Nexus. Now the problem with this, besides custom chromatic metal, gold and metal platings, they don't power on at night time. So you'll also need, do not get this. Whatever you do not buy the biofuel reactor. It is useless for power. Trust me. You'll need batteries. Now these will store the power your solar panels create, which will then be used at night time. One of my farms has this exact same issue, where power runs out very quickly. Build 3, see you'll do. If you press and hold the left trigger down to see if we can delete something, you can scroll over and find this. Hook it all up together, like so. As long as they're all connected to each other, it should be fine. Now as soon as I hook this up, boom. Obviously, if you hook this up to here, it will power this as well, and as well as the teleporter if you've used the same thing. Now, it looks like there's not enough power, as it may be overloaded. If that's true, just build maybe an extra 2, and just do this, and that'll re-enable this. Now, the bigger the farm, the more of these you will need, and if you're planning on building a big farm, I highly recommend using electromagnetic generators. The reason being, they have unlimited power, near limitless power, and they're a lot cheaper to build. You don't have to rely, and they work 24/7, so you don't have to rely on batteries and solar panels. Now, the only way these are spawn in is to go back here. There's no nearby hotspot, though you can go to 1,000. I'll show you one of my other farms. So I've got. Now, I don't need mega transfer, so I'll probably delete this farm once I'm done with it. But this is basically a demonstration of what to do. Uranium. Oh, these are the ones I want about. Very technology modules. You'll need them. You need a lot of them. It takes a while to get everything you need, but it's easily grabbed by a couple of hours, maybe less. So let's say you want to get one of these as well as one of these. Now the problem with this is the odds are very slim, but it can happen, and it's never happened. It's silly. So what I'm going to do now is head over to my other farms and show you what I have done in terms of power, in terms of where the other my generators are, and all that. So I'll see you over there. Right, this is one of my first farms that I built. That basically, you see how it's currently installed outside, so I'm going to use the build camera for this. Build camera is a little bit more annoying, but this is how big my field is when it comes to solar panels. As you can see, there's a whole mess of them, and all of this and all those batteries power this massive amount. That's probably the best time ever. As you can see, I've got wires that placed up to here. They power every single one of these, and if I go into here, you see I'm using 2500 kp, and I've got 5050 available to me. As you can see, as it's daytime, it's charging for quite a considerable rate. Now, if you access one of your solar panels, if you haven't built, you can see how long before daylight goes. It's usually about 15 minutes, so as it just came daytime before I started recording again. As you can see, your grid power storage is maximizing as quickly as possible. The more as this storage that you have, the longer it will stay powered during the night. If it powers down during the night time and you pour in, your teleport is disabled, everything's disabled. You have no power. And you won't be making anything. Now this entire Indian farm can supply 74,000. I've upgraded this while I was building the other ones, which caused power issues again. So if you're building a large size, I don't recommend this. I recommend finding an electromagnetic. Unfortunately, there's no nearby hotspot. This one's a B class, so it's pretty decent, so the miners will get quite a high amount. Now if I go to one of my other farms that have an electromagnetic, but is fairly fucked, I would say. It works, but the problem I have is so far away that the game bugs out. You'll see it when they get there. The only reason I did it is because I could, and I got recommended. Yeah. Just a couple of things, you can see it up there. This is where my main farm is, and this is an A class. It's probably one of the best I've got so far. My power is all the way over there. No nearby hotspot. I had to build a whole bunch over there that collects power. Build up quite a few in order to get it all up here. Now, this is quite a sizable farm as well, as you can see by here. Now, if I go up to the electromagnetic field that's up here, the pylon, it goes for my very good shields. So obviously because it's up here, it won't generate anything. I'm making 3100 whilst 2400 is being used. But considering that you saw these solar panels, all of them over there, which is roughly about 20, 25, 30 maybe, all of that is supplying power, which is a lot cheaper than gold, magnetic metal and metal platings. Also, if you build a supply depots, do what I do, build them up. It saves you space, and this can hold 76,000. As you saw at the start of the intro, at the start of the video, I made 260 million just off these 4 farms. So it is very profitable. Now you've seen the difference. I'd recommend taking the time with it. You can use solar panels if you don't want a massive farm. But if you're going to build a big farm and there's no access to the electromagnetic fields, you will struggle basically. Now the next thing I want to show you is the Nexus. This is the last thing. So, the main thing you will need, as I showed before, is salvage data. Lobby is full, that's fine. The entire Nexus to myself, I'm not going to complain. And people actually hear me when I... Oh my god. The first things first, once it is here. Oh, just for the salvage opportunity. What is wrong with this game? Good lord. You're going to make yourself up here. You can do that, or you can use the doors over here like a normal person would. This is the main part of the Nexus that you need. Now the first thing you should be working towards is the Indium drive. So you visit this guy here, and you go to here. Now to get the Indium drive you also need emerald, but to get the emerald drive you also need cadmium, which you'll need a cadmium drive for. So as soon as you have that available, you can, the quantic metal you can make from copper, so that's also useful. Once you have that, then you can work towards cadmium to the red planet systems rather, to get that, and then the Indium drive. All this allows you access to those systems, which will obviously have the blue stars, the red stars, and the green stars, as I showed you earlier in the video. Now once you're making significant progress up there, at some point you'll need to visit the multitude dude. Nice trim by the way. And then you'll need the survey device. Now to get the survey device, the one you need before it is the waveform recycler. That's really all you need. Once you have this, you can then move on. Once you have that, if you have spare salvage data, go over here. Go right or left until you find not tech modules. Industrial modules. This is what you need. You'll need a mineral extractor, supply depot, supply pipe. You'll need this in order to access these 3. Once you have all of this, you can start going on. Because this costs 10, it's safe to assume this probably costs 10, that costs 10, this will probably cost 5, maybe less, this will probably cost 5, maybe 10. Same with everything else. Once you have them, I assume you'll probably need a good 100 to get all this. Once you have all of these, you can essentially go and make your base. You can basically make your farms. All this is required, so you'll need access to the Nexus before you can even start it, which means you will need to do the main quest line, I believe, until you get contacted by this dude, Apollo, Nada rather. Follow somebody else. That's a big ship. Once you've done that, you just head back to your ship. So many different types of exotic ships. I want that ship better. Sweet. But yeah, that's all you need. Once you've got all of them, you can exit the Nexus as normal. And people are receiving stuff. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's all you need. Once you've found it, you just go back to your Activated Indium Farm and build it up. Nice and simple, no trouble about it. But obviously, I would super recommend, let me get back to the station, I would super highly, stupidly recommend, I won't say stupidly, to get one of these. Because, well, like I said, you can build the building, that's all well and good. But if you're in a storm, when you land, you're gonna need some form of protection, because if you're in an extreme storm, this will last 20 to 30 seconds. And because the way it ticks down quite fast on the bar, as you saw earlier in the video, that was just a normal thing. Imagine that, but faster. You're liable to panic. So it's recommended to get that, and the way to get them is back in the space station, which is available to anyone. So maybe you should maybe you should do this one first. God, I need a better jetpack, despite the fact I've got all these upgrades. It's pissing me off already. So what you need, this is also a good bonus. You will need space. I'm in the Viking system, it seems. So don't buy any of these. Oh, there you go. An S-Class radiation module. 569. It's fairly easy to get. I've got 17k. Pretty sure I had more than that, but whatever. Oh no, it's expensive. Never mind. Oh no, and an S-Class thermal. S-Class life support and S-Class toxic. This is going to be randomised, so bear that in mind. This is just me getting good RNG, which is great by the way. A-Class works as well. So A-Class or S-Class, this is my recommendation. B-Class and C-Class work as well, but I don't recommend getting them because they're weak, basically. S-Class would be the best. X-Class is all randomised. That's a whole other part of the system of RNG that I don't want to deal with. S-Class is recommended. A-Class if you can't have S-Class. Once you have done, just go into your technology, insert it in. Make sure they surround the hazard system, as they give bonuses, the same with the shielding. I don't know how true that is for hazard, but I know it works for everything else. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. And as far as the motor tool, once you've built the survey device, this is my way you place it, and that's all you need. To get the resources needed for said survey device, go to any space station, wait for an NPC to come in and visit them, or this is an actual layer of RNG. Obviously you're going to need to build a bit of money, and I've made a unit farm before guide using salvageable tech and ancient bones. Some planets have them, some planets don't, it just depends on RNG. Just buy up all the metal platings here, just buy up all of the oxygen if you need it. Or the ferrite dust. Is it ferrite or ferret? I don't really know. You can buy up most of the resources here that you need. You can also sell them too. Just buy it off there, which it doesn't have what you need. There's another way to get there. Oh, there it is. Go into here. Oh well, for a start you can get nanite, so that's smart. Just literally just go right now. I didn't even know you could do that. So this is one place. A lot of people don't know about this, even I didn't, until I was exploring. I was like, oh wait, there's a thing. Look, go in there, extract the 72 nanites, then go across into here, and bada boom, bada boom. This place is so fucking weird. There it is. There's another trade terminal here. This sells different stuff. There you go, quantum computers, amino chambers, you know, stuff like that. From even quantum metal, which you definitely will need. You can buy all the resources. It costs quite a bit, so just bear that in mind. So just work out between your money and what you can do to sell. Making money is just as easy. Some of the resources, you can grind them out using the mining stuff, and bada boom, you can slowly make your way back. Now, just a reminder as well, a full stack of Activated Indium in the right circumstances will give 10 health. So that's 9999 basically, which is enough to get you started. On building up the Activated Indium Farm. Now this is kind of late game, well not really late game, it's early to mid I would say. The reason I say that is because the salvage data you're going to need a lot of. I mean, despite me having nearly 180 hours in the save, I've only got 18. Then again, I haven't really needed to get there as I've been spending quite a lot. So, yep, once you have access to the Nexus, once you have access to all the stuff that I've mentioned, your right is then to go to any of these systems to find Activated Indium. Indium does the same thing, but Activated Indium is better, trust me. And like I said, just bear in mind, you will need to go to one of these looking stars. So it will take you a little bit of time in order to get to where you need to be, in terms of modules, in terms of, you know, data. Every planet has some form of underground data. Just go to them, pick them up. They have 1, 2 or 3 at the most. But like I said, it's all a progress. It's all a lengthy progress, I would say. You will get there eventually, just takes a little bit of time. Then once you have the first one set up, expand on it. Wait for it to fill up or whatever, you take it all up, go to a random trade terminal and sell it. Now bear in mind, demand price is important. If the demand price says excuse me, got fucking hiccups. If the demand price says -3, -5, -12, sell it. If it says -80, you will be losing out on a lot of profit. For example, I sold, at the start of the video, I sold 270,000 for 260 odd million. Now, if I were to do that again in the same system, the demand price would be -80, and then it would only go for about 50k or 50 mil if you're lucky. So the demand price is super important to keep an eye on. As long as it's below -10 or better, grand. If you find a star system, a space station that has plus, you're making more than what it's actually worth. So just bear that in mind. I've made that mistake nearly once. I was going back when I first started the Activated Indium. I went up to it, sold it, did it again later on, realised it was so much cheaper, wondered why, and I sold to the demand price. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, that's about it really. I need to stop rambling and just get to the point sometimes, don't I? I've had to re-record this like 3 times now. But yeah, if you found this guide helpful, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below of any other tips, or if you have any questions, either of them, just let me know in the comments down below. There is a Discord that I have set up, you can join that. There should be a link in the about side of my channel, and if I remember to, in the description. I'll probably do that a lot more permanently now. I'm trying to build up a small community around the channel, you know, to add to the gaming community basically. I wouldn't mind having a small community watching on Twitch to chat to during load screens, because I find that part fun. I'm also streaming quite a bit on Twitch as well. I'm currently streaming a permadeath series. If you want to have a look at that, I do have a link. All you have to do is go to twitch.tv/LikeAWolfUK and you'll find me quite easily. That's all you need to do, and it's quite simple to remember, which is surprising. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Like I said, I hope you have found this useful, I hope it is useful, and leave a like, subscribe. I need to stop repeating myself. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.